Davy Rogers is up. Rogers swings the left. Oh, Davy Rogers! Oh, what a goal by Davy Rogers!
Not one person in this stadium seen this one.
You can see the guards behind the goal at the main stand. They will be investigating Shelbourne for robbery. They have absolutely mugged Príncipe United here at Tom.
And find the goal! Harry Wood, the jersey's off. 6 minutes to... Look at the back one! What a goal that is!
Hi folks, and welcome to another LOI talk, this time a bit early for personal circumstances, with the same appetite to discuss what happened in the last week and also what is ahead of us in the next few days. So a lot of action to go through, and I have Cornell here with us. He's quite of an expert when it comes to the League of Iron, so it's very good to have you here back. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. Hoping you're well as well too.
Oh, thanks very much. So if you enjoy this sort of conversations around sports, in particular the League of Iron, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are here every Thursday, usually it's between 5 and 7 p.m. Irish UK time. If you know someone who's into the topic, make sure to share. And if you are satisfied with the content delivered, we'll be very thankful if you can press that like button below. The chat box is open, so make sure this is interactive. So any comment, any question, anything you want to say, let's make sure that this is a two-way conversation. So let's start with one of the games that took place a couple of days ago, which was a draw between Derry and Galway, kind of a derby on the west of Ireland.
Yeah, it was a very interesting game, this one. I did expected Derry City to win this one, and Galway United. Hold on a second, Alexa, stop. As I was saying, sorry, I was rudely interrupted by Alexa. Galway United were expected to basically win this game. Obviously, Derry City was up for this game. They wanted to bring a statement to the game and find a way to win this game. But I think a draw was the proper ideal game. But look, I think Galway United, obviously, they've added some real steel to their team. Obviously, they've added the Trinidad and Tobago striker as well up front. So obviously I'm looking forward to seeing Dyer and the new striker link up together as well. So I mean, that's going to be something. Derry City, I think, on the other hand, I mean, Tian Lynch is still trying to get used to who his starting 11 is and who he wants to play in his starting 11. But look, a draw was very, very valued, and I think Galway United will be very upset that they couldn't get the all 3 points, but I think a point was more looking likely.
Another one was a draw in Inchicore between Pats and Drogheda. It seems Pats are having a hard time to get 3 points.
Yeah, this was a very difficult game because to play at Drogheda's ground is not easy, and obviously, despite that, St. Patrick's have been unbeaten at home, but a draw was the very valuable result. Obviously, St. Pat's weren't the better side in the first half. Drogheda was causing them problems, and they had it was a very, very intense game. This one, and I expected Drogheda to cause an upset, but look, I think St. Pat's, obviously, I think there's been a lot of talk about them. Obviously, we all expected St. Pat's to go on and win this game, but like I said, playing against Drogheda is not easy. It's very, very difficult playing against them. They always like to give you a hard and tough game. But St. Pat's had better possession in the second half, but overall, I think Drogheda was 10 times much more better than St. Pat's. So I think, again, another draw, but I think it's another 2 points drop, really. And I think there's going to be a lot of questions asked about St. Pat's as a team and where do they go from here? Honestly, I think we all expect them to be in and around the title race and to be challenging for the title. But look, it is what it is. But, it's early days, but a draw was very valuable.
talking of upset, I think that's the right word for my sentiment for this result. Both they went all the way to Cork to collect the 3 points.
Yeah, I expected Cork City to go into this game. I mean, with all the build up and all the talk about it, and then the new signings that you've added Kelly to your back line, and obviously, I mean, Daniels is probably on the verge of probably leaving Cork City, which I think would be a very massive blow, because obviously Keating is out for 6 months, six to can't remember how many months he's out for, but he's out injured, and it's a big blow for him. Maguire's just come back. Nash is just managing his minutes at really to be precise. But like I said, Bohemians were the better side, which they were. They showed the quality, they showed the class. They were the better side from start to finish. Cork City tried, they made the effort that you would expect Cork City to do and try and give them a hard game. But I think this is real misery that's on Cork City right now, Victor. And I think if I look at Cork City right now as a team, right, questions will be asked, how do they survive from relegation playoff position to stay up in the table? Because if Keating was around and it was Maguire and Keating, I think they would have been off in the mid-table. But it's worrying times right now. I mean, if you lose Daniels, it's going to be interesting to see which striker comes in for him. Again, it's the defense is a little bit of a worry. You need reinforcements. Cork City needs reinforcements to have any chance of actually staying up this season. If they don't bring in any sort of faces to come in and show the quality and the class as a team, as we always expected them to do, then you do worry that they could be back in where they all started in the first division.
Shamrock, they seem unstoppable. They collected a great victory at their rival in Polka Park. This 2-1, I think it's more than 3 points. It has another meaning.
This game really baffed me, Victor, because I watched this game. I watched the highlights of this game, and I thought Shelbourne wasn't good enough in this game. Shamrock Rovers showed them that they are the dominant side. Why they are top for a reason, why they've extended their points on top of the table, despite that Bohemians have played 2 games more, right? Shamrock Rovers showed Shelbourne that they are the dominant side. They showed that they have the quality. When you've got players like Danny Grant in there, when you've got players like Matt Healy in there, you've got goal-scoring machines like Graham Burke, who is one of the best in League of Ireland. And for Shamrock Rovers, you've got Aaron Green, who's on fire at the moment. You've got next generations like Michael Noon. It's very difficult to handle. And Shamrock Rovers showed that. Shelbourne was absolutely poor. They were a very, very poor side from start to finish. The second half, yes, they showed a bit of fight. First half, Shamrock Rovers was all over them. Absolutely all over them from head to toe. And that is not good enough. Damien Duff, for me, needs to look at this team and really start bringing some reinforcements into his team, especially in the back line. Obviously, I don't know what's going on with Ellis Chapman, despite that Ellis Chapman has really adapted really well to the League of Ireland since his move from Salogo Rovers and going to Shelbourne. We ain't seen him. He's been in and out. Yes, of course, it was fantastic to see Sean Boyd come back. They've been missing Sean Boyd up front. We all expected at the start of the season that we wanted to see Boyd and Odebeko basically linking up together. That hasn't happened because of the same thing. The goal-scoring threat is completely dead. But Shamrock Rovers, they are top for a reason. They are where they are because they've shown that they are the class team. They've shown how brilliant they can be. And they are on the verge of wanting to go and be so determined than ever to actually go on and to be and to win the League of Ireland title once again for a 5th time. And look at the way Stephen Bradley's set them up right now. He's brought in a striker, obviously. He's brought McGovern in, who can't start until July 1st, which is, understandable. But I think Shamrock Rovers don't have nothing to fear this season. they will beat anybody who's in their way. I mean, I'll be very interested to see how Europe, the qualifying in the Europe really affects them, just like, you know, Shelburne and St. Pat's and so on. So this had Shamrock Rovers win all over it, but Shelburne, I think, needs sorting out. And Damien Duff really needs to sort this team out and really get them back to winning ways, because you cannot go into another game, a previous game winning, and another game you lose. This is not good enough from Shelburne, and Shelburne really needs to look at their team right now.
Another 3 massive points, this time for Sligo. It's 1-0, but it's more than that. It's the fact that they are not at the bottom anymore.
Yes, I'm very, very pleased that Sligo Rovers won this game. Obviously, I expected that Sligo Rovers to go on and win because they haven't been in a good form. They're out of the relegation playoff, positions. Waterford, who's been in very good form under John Coleman since he's come in, and even though despite his experiences with Sligo Rovers in 2014, look. This game was there for the winning for Sligo Rovers. Again, I said that Sligo Rovers deserved to go on and get 3 points. Yes, I'm not saying that they didn't deserve to lose this game, but obviously they've just added Queek to their team and new reinforcements to come in, because I think they do need more squad depth. But look, this was a very important win for Sligo Rovers, and Sligo Rovers can be very, very, very proud of themselves. Waterford, on the other hand, look, they're still trying to get on with life with John Coleman. John Coleman is still trying to get the best out of Waterford. Yeah, he's going to get the best out of Alman. He's getting the best out of Longaran. Of course he is, and you can clearly see that from time. But look, devastating loss for Waterford, but very good win for Sligo to get them back on winning ways and get them out of the relegation places.
Now, a couple of games that took place on Monday due to the European commitments. This was some sort of surprise to me that Shelburne won away in Chicago.
Yeah, Shelburne, obviously, who lost to Shamrock Rovers, they had to respond. They had to respond against St. Pat's. They had to. And, Shelburne had to come out with a vengeance and say, listen, we can't be playing the way they're playing like they did against Shamrock Rovers. They have to bounce back against St. Pat's, and they did. And that is the Shelburne I want to see. I want to see that is the Damien Duff. I wanted to see that ruthless aggression from Damien Duff. I wanted him to really get at his players and really tell them if they're not playing for the shirt, then they don't play. They sit on the bench. And they showed their loyalty to the team. They showed their quality and they showed their class and said they will put on one hell of a show. And they put on one hell of a show. Ali Koo obviously scoring the only goal. This shows how quality, Ali Koo is, coming from Bohemians and to go into Shelburne's team. That this is what he's about, and that's what he always does. Again, St. Pat's again, losing away from home. That's like 12 away losses away from home. That's not good enough. That's not the way that how St. Pat's are supposed to be playing. Again, this really questions St. Pat's really and their mentality and their quality. Where is the quality gone? Yes, of course, Keener has just come back from injury. Yes, of course, they're getting players back from injury, but I want to see St. Pat's, put in one hell of an effort and put in one hell of a game and giving teams a hard time. Do I think they need reinforcements in the summer? Yes and no, despite that they have the quality squad depth, but they have to work together. They cannot be waiting around for Aidan McKinnon to save the day, or Jake Mullaney to save the day, or Zebedee to save the day, despite that they had chances in their previous game, before. But again, it just shows that St. Pat's really need to really up their game and start getting wins on the bounce.
Do you think Stephen Kenny's job is at risk at this point?
If he carries on, if the bad results really carry on, then Stephen Kenny's job will be at risk, because we all expected him. We're talking about Stephen Kenny, who's dominated the League of Ireland with Dundalk. He's won 12 League of Ireland titles with Dundalk. He's managed the Republic of Ireland, which didn't really go so well because he didn't know his starting 11 and he didn't know who his best players were. We're talking about Stephen Kenny, who came in and helped St. Pat's last season to survive relegation. We're talking about Stephen Kenny, who basically knows his starting 11. But for you just don't know your starting 11, you need to know your squad. You need to know who is your best players. Who can you get the best out of? Which young stars can step up from the youth academy and come into this St. Pat's team and show their class and show their quality? We're not seeing that right now. We're not seeing that. They're waiting on Aidan McKinnon to actually get them out of trouble. They can't be waiting around for Aidan McKinnon because Aidan McKinnon just come back from injury. And I mean, it's too much pile and pressure. So I think maybe another striker is possibly needed for that team. Levy, yes, is also quality as well. Yes, we all know about Zebedee. We know about Simon Power and Mulaney. Yeah, but we cannot be relying on that front four. If they want a Mason Melia, of all people as well, we always expect, look, we're talking about Mason Melia, who is basically on the verge of going to Tottenham in the new year and will be playing with the academy lot. If he wants to really step into that first team for Tottenham, he's got to show his worth. He's got to prove his worth. Aidan McKinnon's got to do the same. The whole St. Pat's team have to do the same. Have to really step up their game, because you cannot tell me that you're losing this game. You can't do that. That is absolutely wrong. Shelburne made the huge statement, and they learned from their mistake against Shamrock Rovers. And I expected St. Pat's to do the same thing, but it's not how it seems. You lose some, you draw some, you lose some.
Right. So this was the action from League of Ireland when it comes to the games we had in the last 7 days. Anything you want to highlight when it comes to the first division, Cornell?
Dundalk is the team that I'd like to highlight. Obviously, I think they've been in very, very good form this season. Kieran, their manager, has absolutely got the best out of them. They're just unstoppable right now, and they're a very hard team to stop at the moment. Cove Wanderers, I think Ramblers, are ones to look out for as well. I think they're in good form. They're in very good form as well. Obviously, Treaty United is starting to, their form is starting to dip a bit. Wexford is also one, and Bray Wanderers as well. But I think Dundalk's progression in the first division, I think, is clearly unstoppable, and the players that they're bringing in from the youth academy, and also permanently as the small club that they are, I think Dundalk are ones to watch. But at the moment, I think there are Kolb and Bray are the ones to look out for this season as well, and Wexford as well.
Right. So before we go back to the first division or Premier Division, I just want to encourage people to put their comments in the chat box. You want to make sure this is a dialogue. So any observation, anything you want to be part of the conversation, make sure you put in the chat box. And if you are enjoying what you are doing, please press those two buttons below, like and subscribe. So tomorrow we have a very interesting schedule. And I'm very curious about Drogheda Sligo. Will Sligo be boosted after last result, or they will have no chance in Drogheda?
I think Sligo will give Drogheda a very, very tough, hard game. I think they'll give everything that they have in this game. Drogheda will be up for it for definitely. And they will find a way to make sure that they go on and get the 3 points. But never underestimate Sligo Rovers at this point, especially that win that they received, that they got, and the 3 points that they got. I wouldn't be surprised if Sligo Rovers tries and beats Drogheda. But Drogheda are in very good form this season. They've shown the quality, they've shown the class. They've got, Keeley and Connor Kane in there as well. Lambay as well has been in good form. We're seeing the fantastic form of James Taylor as well. We're seeing his goal scoring form come along. So, they're not to be underestimated at all. So I think it wouldn't be surprising if Sligo Rovers pull off a win on this one.
Waterford Bows. Bows, they also seem unstoppable at this point. At least they are having their momentum.
Yes, the momentum is going very well with Bohemians at the moment. Tierney and Denvoy have been in very, very good form this season. They've shown the absolute class and quality of the team that they deserve to be. Dale Rooney is also in good form as well. Amazing quality that we're seeing from him as well. Waterford, I think, will be looking to rely on Almond and Longeren to get the goals and Noonan to get the goals. But I think this swings in Bohemians' favour, and I think for me, I can see Bohemians getting a win against Waterford.
Next will take place in Dublin, Shelbourne Derby. Any thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this is I think this goes in Shelbourne's way. Shelbourne obviously won their game despite they lost against Shamrock Rovers, but they put it right. They bounced back. They showed the bounce back ability. Shelbourne obviously I think are going to be boosted with Sean Boyd. Sean Boyd is raring to go. He's raring to play. So it wouldn't be surprising if Sean Boyd plays up front with Odebeko, because we've all been crying out as pundits of the League of Ireland to see Odebeko and Boyd link up together, and we haven't really seen that. We've more seen Wood and Martin and Odebeko, and I think that's not like really working at the moment. So I think I would like to see Damien Duff try and play Odebeko and Boyd together, and I think they'll be unstoppable together, and I think that's where the goals will start coming. So I think it won't. I mean, Derry, I think Derry City will look very confident going into this game, but Shelbourne, I think, will be up for it this week, and I think definitely Shelbourne will win this one against Derry.
Now the first against the last, Shamrock Cork, which I think is always interesting when there is an encounter between who is at the top and who is at the bottom. But in this case, I cannot imagine Cork getting a draw, let alone winning.
A draw is kind of likely for this one, but Cork City, look, they haven't been in very good form this season. We haven't seen the very best of Cork City as we expected them to do. Normally, the last time Cork City played them, they escaped with a draw. Obviously, Shamrock Rovers have always had their number at most points. But look, I think the injury problems with Cork right now is really getting them down. Daniels' his future, despite he signed a short-term deal and is obviously on the verge of heading out to go to Kilmarnock, and I'm sure Cork City will find ways to try and keep him, but it looks like he's going out the door. They haven't got no Rory Keating in there, which is not very good, because they need a striker to link up with Maguire, because Maguire cannot do all the whole work. Cathy O'Sullivan, obviously, already know with him, obviously, how fantastic he is, despite he's going to go to Crystal Palace and play in their youth team. Obviously, look, they've got some players back already, Bolger and so on, that are backed. I mean, obviously, Truce has been a very good, decent goalkeeper, despite that he's conceded a lot of goals, but it's not his fault. But look, I think Shamrock Rovers' quality right now is really unmatched right now. When you've got Graham Burke, who's got, 7 goals this season, it's so hard and so difficult to stop him as well, and his form that he's in right now. You've got Byrne, who's got 7 assists this season. It's just unbelievable when you see it there. You've got Noonan, the next generation, that's 16 years of age, going on 17. Absolutely one to watch this season, and I think he will be very difficult to stop. Yes, Aaron Greene as well. You've got that midfield of Healy and obviously Dylan Watts to come back in it after when he returns, and then of course you've got Danny Grant in there, which is very, very difficult to handle. But again, like I always said, and I've said it most times, Shamrock Rovers' quality is really unmatched right now, and I think it's just very, very difficult to see this game. And I think it could, if it doesn't look well. I would like it to be a draw, but the way that Shamrock Rovers are looking, it's very difficult to really put it past them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shamrock Rovers win this one.
Now, I'm not really, not this one, apologies. So I just got lost here. Yeah, Galway Pats. It's very hard for me to put the money in each of the teams, because both are on kind of a weird period. So what would you foresee here?
My opinions on this. This is a must-win for St. Pat's right now. They need to go into this game with full confidence. They need to go in there with full belief. They need to go in there with full positivity and go into this game with full optimism. You cannot They cannot be waiting around for Aidan McKinnon to score the goals. They cannot be waiting around for young generation Mason Media to step it up. Yes, he's got to step it up if he wants to be in Tottenham's first starting 11. He has to step it up. Aidan McKinnon's got to step it up too and really get the minutes into his legs and get back to his best because Moses Dyer is having a wonderful time being top scorer with 9 goals this season, despite that Graham Burke of Shamrock Rovers is just one behind him with 8 goals. But look, at the end of the day, this game is a must-win for St. Pat's. Galway United will be very, very confident because they've got Shaw in their team now, who is basically their new addition now. I think we're definitely gonna see Dyer and Shaw link up together up front for them and try and get goals. But look, St. Pat's, this is an opportunity for that front four, opportunity for Kinner to really showcase himself and really be the Aidan McKinnon that we want to see. I want to see Aidan McKinnon being back to his best, being back to the goal scorer that we know that he can be before his injury. I want to see him get back to it. I want to see him be his real 100% best and be the best version of Aidan McKinnon. I want to see St. Pat's really showing them St. Pat's fans that they are willing to not quit on giving up on challenging for the League of Ireland title. I want them to show that they are the team that we expect them to be favourites, just like we expect Shelburne, we expect Shamrock Rovers to be up there, even though they are first at the present moment. But I want to see St. Pat's really sending a message in this game and say, listen, they are not giving up on challenging Shamrock Rovers for that League of Ireland title. And I want them to be at their best. I want Stephen Kenny to know his starting 11. I want Stephen Kenny to show that fan base, that St. Pat's fan base, that he is the rightful manager and that his job is not going to be on the line. It's not going to be under pressure. I want to see that Stephen Kenny. I want to see that dominance from Stephen Kenny. I want to see Stephen Kenny being at his best with his best 11. Yes, I know injuries haven't really helped St. Pat's and it's very difficult. But I want Stephen Kenny to show the passion. I want him to show the desire as a manager and show everyone, including myself, including you, including all the pundits on this on the League of Ireland Talk podcast show, that he can dominate games. He can get 3 points. He can win games and see out results. Don't go into one game not seeing out the result and then you lose the other. No, I don't want to see St. Pat's doing that. Galway United are going to be up for this too. Of course they are. But this is an opportunity for St. Pat's to really showcase their talent and be the team that we expect them to be. That is who I want to see tomorrow when they play.
Right. So before we move to Monday games, again, I want to encourage people to use the chat box. It's there for us to have a conversation. So make sure to add your comments, questions, input. It's there for that purpose. And if you haven't subscribed or liked, please do so, because that's how this thing gets distributed in the YouTube sphere. Now let's talk about Monday games, Cornell. I know it's tricky because it really depends on what happens tomorrow, but we can always say a couple of things. There's one game that for me it's the most interesting one, and is Bows hosting Rovers, because it seems Bows is the only team that can dispute the title with Rovers, and maybe if they win, Rovers will take them seriously.
Yeah, I think Shamrock Rovers cannot go into this game underestimating Bohemians right now. Bohemians right now are in very, very fantastic form. Like I said about the likes of Tierney and Del and Rooney and Demvoy, they are on absolute unstoppable form right now. They're really showing their class and their quality. Clark and so on. Obviously, I think losing Sean at the back wasn't really the right thing, but he's there on loan and he's gone back to Crystal Palace. So I'll be very surprised if Bohemians don't really try and find a way to bring him back. but because I think he's been an absolute rock. I think Sean Greenhan has been absolutely brilliant at the back for Bohemians, but he's not there. And I think right now, I think they'll be looking for another centre back to be added. I would like to see Reynolds give Mose a chance as well up front to play up front, just try and get the goals and stuff like that. But this game, I think Bohemians, obviously, the last time we saw this and we spoke about this, Victor, Bohemians caused an absolute upset on Shamrock Rovers at the Aviva Stadium and beat them. Shamrock Rovers will be determined to put that right and say, listen, you may have beaten us, but we will beat you on your turf. But look, Shamrock Rovers know what Bohemians are about. They know the form that Shamrock Rovers are in. They've shown the quality, they've shown the class and everything about this. So it wouldn't be surprising if Bohemians try, but I think and cause an upset. But knowing my luck, I think Shamrock Rovers will be very, very determined to put this right. And I think Shamrock Rovers will go in and win this game and blow Bohemians away.
Now, another one that is very hard to say what to be the outcome. Waterford, Shells.
Shells again. Damien Duff will put his points across. He'll want to make sure that he gets the best out of his team. He'll make sure that that the players are fully up for this and they're at their full 100%. Waterford will be the same. John Coleman will be ready than ever to make sure that his team Waterford bounce back from their loss that they suffered. But this goes in Shelbourne's favour. And I mean, you've seen the quality of how Ali Coote's playing. You've seen the quality of how Kermit Roy is playing. You've seen the quality of how well, we're going to see Boyd, get back to his best. But, obviously I think Damien Duff will manage his minutes and make sure that he don't overdo it with Boyd. But listen, I think, again, this goes in Shelbourne's way. I think for me, I think because of the return of Boyd and Odebeko, I think we're destined to see the very best of Odebeko. And I think him and Boyd are going to be something else when they link up together. So I'm going to go for a Shelbourne win on this one.
Cork, Drachten. By the way, before we talk about this game, I saw a lot of concerns around Cork's new coach. Isn't it too early to put pressure on him? Or is there a valid reason for it?
I think it's a valid reason. I mean, I wouldn't put pressure on Gerard Nash now. I mean, look, Gerard Nash has just been revealed as the new manager. I mean, look, Cork City are in serious trouble, as I explained today. I see the way that what Cork City is trying to do. Cork City are trying to get back to their best, and it's very difficult. They are in a very bad position right now. It's not the position that they need to be. They shouldn't be in the relegation playoff places. They should be in mid-table. They are there. The reason that they are there is because there's no Keaton in the team. Keaton is out for 6 months. It is not good enough. It's not a great sign. They haven't replaced him. Yes, they've got Daniels. Can't be relying on Daniels, like I said. Maguire has just come back from injury. He was determined and destined to come back. But again, I said it most times, they need at least 1 or 2 strikers. They need 2 strikers to come in and really blow this Cork City team away, because they are a good quality underdog side when on their day. When you have the likes of Maguire and Keaton in there, they are a handful, and they are an absolute handful to really beat down. But Cork City are in the position because they haven't been in good form. They've lost many of their games, and it's not a good sign. And it's worrying times for Cork City. Cork City, again, we expect the quality of Cafe O'Sullivan to kick in. He's showing how quality he is, but we're not seeing the goals up front. We're not seeing that. So I want to see Cork City doing something and really showing their quality. Then you have Drogheda as well. They're on good form as well this season. They're on fire. They are going to look at this game and say this is an easy game for them to go on and win and get 3 points off. When you got James Taylor up front, it's not easy when you got players like him in there. Even though, yes, probably Walsall will look at him and probably say, well, why can't they recall him back? But again, like I've always said, this is a game that I feel that maybe Cork City can go on and win. But then every time you look at Droghed's performances, you kind of think, well, this goes in Droghed's way and this will swing in their way. So it wouldn't be surprising, but it would be nice, I think, for both teams to get a draw. I think it would be nice for them to get a point, but I think, knowing my luck, I think Cork City will want to go in there and win this game. But without Keaton in the team, and then obviously possibly Daniels leaving, it's very, very difficult right now. So I think it's more going to go in Droghed's way to win.
Next, Pats Derby. And Pats will play a few days before they start their European journey. How much can that affect the squad?
I think St. Pat's being in European football, I think hopefully it doesn't give them the effect that they don't deserve. But I mean, going into this game against Derry City is another derby that I think that will swing in St. Pat's way, and I think this is another bounce back ability for them to go on and really find a way to get all 3 points on the board. Derry City again will want to show their class. I mean, despite there's speculation about Patrick Cobban possibly leaving and going into the Northern Irish League. But look, I think St. Pat's really will look at this as another must-win game. I think they'll go into it believing that they can really showcase their talent and showcase their ability for them to go on and win. So it wouldn't be surprising if St. Pat's win this one against Derry.
And we have another game on the west of Ireland, Sligo, Galway.
Galway United. This is a team that I've always rated as a team. I think Galway United are going to be something else. I mean, we've got Hurley in there. You've got Cunningham in there as well. You've got Sewer in there, who is just absolutely unstoppable as a left back. Patrick Hickey, absolutely brilliant this season. In very good form. They've got a brand new striker partnership, like I mentioned today, of Shaw. He's going to be something special to watch as well this season. And him and Dyer, they've played in the same league in the Canadian Premier League. So he Shaw knows all about Dyer and what he's capable of. And you know, this is the reason why Dyer is top scorer with 9 goals this season. But when you've got informed players like Graham Burke and Shamrock Rovers causing problems for defenses, then you know you can't underestimate that. But again, I think this is a must-win again for Sligo Rovers, and I think they'll go in it with full expectations and everything else. But look, I think for me, Galway United, I think will more win this game. So I think Galway United win for me.
So that's the League of Ireland. Would you mind just go through quickly on the European games, on the draw?
Yeah, sure.
Irish teams? Okay, just something that we can bring to the table. Why not? So Shelbourne will encounter the neighbors, Linfield. Thoughts on that one?
My thoughts on that one, when I saw the draw and I saw Linfield, I was like, Northern Irish team from the Northern Irish League coming up against a League of Ireland team. This is an absolute massive game, this one. This is an opportunity for Shelbourne to really showcase themselves in European football qualifiers and really find a way to make sure they can go on a fantastic run. So, I mean, Linfield will probably give them a very good game. I mean, Linfield, who obviously have been winners of the Northern Irish Premier League division, they've shown their quality and their class. I think Shelbourne will be in for one hell of a hard game, but I think as long as Shelbourne go in there with no fear, I do believe that Shelbourne will go on and win the qualifying games in the European. But this is a very fantastic draw and a very good start for Shelbourne.
Can Shelbourne aim to the Conference League group?
I believe they can. I mean, as long as they can get Sean Boyd to his best, as long as they can get Odebeko, you know, scoring again and get the qualities from Coote and Ellis Chapman and so on, and Kerman Roy as well. I don't think they won't have a problem. Yes, there will be tough teams in the European, in the likes of the UEFA Conference League and the Europa League, but this is an opportunity for Shelbourne to go on a huge run and really showcase their talents and really shock a few European teams in this division.
Talking of Conference League, so St. Pat's got the Lithuanians, Egoman.
My thoughts on this. This is another fantastic draw for St. Pat's. I think it'll be very good for the other players that are on the bench to get an opportunity for them to impress Steve and Kenny, for them to go on and really show why they deserve to be in his starting 11 plans. But this is another good draw for St. Patrick's, and definitely an opportunity for them to go on a run as well and really show that they have the quality and the class, to really go further throughout the tournament and throughout Europe as well, and go on a European run. And this is an opportunity for Aidan McKinnon as well, for him to showcase his goal scoring talents and the front four of Mulaney and Zebedee as well, and Simon Power. So I'll be very interested to see how they get on, but I think definitely I think a win in this one.
Right, so a lot of action on the way, so a lot of excitement. So we'll be here covering every Thursday. We'll probably go back to the original time, 7 p.m., because I think it's more convenient. Mm-hmm. So I want to thank you, Cornell, for your insights. They're always of great value.
Thank you very much,
sir. And yeah, I also want to encourage people to stay tuned. Make sure that you watch us on a Thursday basis. We are here to cover action, to share our opinions, and to make sure this is a dialogue, because we're all learning from each other. So if you enjoy what we do, please press those 3 buttons below. First, press the like button. That's the best way to tell us that you are happy with the sort of content we deliver here. If you want to stay aware of what is in the pipeline, make sure to subscribe and press the bell. And if you know someone who is into this kind of conversations, it would be great if you can share. So thanks very much, and yeah, see you very soon. Take care.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.